This AI monk is going completely viral on social media, but not many people know that this is just an AI avatar. Let's look at an example of one of these videos.
When you're becoming someone you've never been, of course it's going to feel uncomfortable. You're stepping into a version of your
Look how many people don't even know that this is an AI monk or avatar. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you a system I built that creates these AI avatars completely on autopilot. All you need to do is set up this system once and you can create as many AI monk videos as you wish. If you're intimidated by code, please don't be, because we're going to be using N8N, which is a no/low code platform. So as long as you can follow instructions, move your mouse and click buttons, then that's all you'll need. All you need to do is join my community by clicking the link down below. And in the resources section, you can click on AI monk template, hit download, and all you have to do is import that file directly into your N8N. Let's get started. Let's walk through how this system actually works. And after we do a walkthrough, I'm going to take y'all step by step for everything that you need to change in this workflow to make it work for you. Okay, so before we look at the nitty-gritty steps of this workflow, let's take a step back and actually think about what we're trying to do. We are trying to create videos that have variation to them. And you might be asking, okay, Timothy, why is it important that these videos have variation? Well, think about how that would be so much more engaging than if a video just had the same hook, the same script, the same background, and the person was wearing the same color robe. So look at this example. This is an orange robe in one setting. This is a brown robe in another setting. This is a light brown robe in a completely different setting. What if we could completely automate that process? So imagine creating an AI agent and workflow that makes videos that have complete variation to them and are different. Well, that's what I've done in this system. So if you look at this AI agent node, if we look at the system message, you're going to see a few different interesting things. You're going to see randomly select one value from each category. So select a value from the topic category, select a value from the framing category, and select a value from the opening hook category. After you have selected those values, generate the output following the exact JSON structure below. Let's look at a visualization of what this is actually doing. If we think about how to create different videos, all we have to do is break those videos down into their most fundamental ingredients and then have the AI choose a quote unquote ingredient from each of those sections. For example, let's look at topics. Here, I have created 18 different topics that would be interesting for the monk to talk about. And what the AI does is it'll select one out of these 18 for every video that's created. So let's say that it selects loneliness. Okay, awesome. Once it selects loneliness, then let's look at this framing section. Well, we can talk about loneliness in a few different ways, right? We can talk about it using a parable. We can talk about it just giving direct advice, maybe giving a metaphor, maybe having a story that has contrast. Let's say, let's say it chooses a parable. So now it has a video that's going to be about loneliness, and it's going to talk about loneliness through a parable. But after it selects the parable, now we have the third category, which is the hook. Well, the hook can be a provocative question. It can be a bold statement, a gentle observation, a counterintuitive truth. So let's say it chooses provocative question. So now we've created a video that is completely unique to itself, which is about loneliness. And loneliness is going to be talked about using a parable, and we're going to use a bold statement as the hook. That is how you are able to create videos with complete variation to them. And next step, after we look at the AI agent, we're going to see how we're actually creating and choosing these specific settings that the AI agent uses to create the video. Because if you remember, not only does the script need to vary, but the actual setting in which the monk talks in needs to vary for the videos to be most interesting. Okay, so if you look through this prompt and you're trying to understand what it's doing exactly that. And I think I did the math on this, but I think there are 1,080 different possibilities that could be created with all of these columns and pillars. And if you want more, all you need to do is just add options to additional options to each one of these. Once we have the actual script, then it moves on to this node here. And basically all this node is doing is it's randomizing which specific setting that the avatar or monk is going to be speaking in. And I'm going to talk about this more in depth whenever I'm showing y'all how to make this work for you. After we have all of the information in with the script, then it moves to a Google Sheets. And basically it just takes all of the information that the AI agent generated and inputs it into a Google Sheet. So we have avatar ID, script, topic, framing, hook type, kind of the overview of what we were just looking at in that whiteboard. After it inputs that data into a Google Sheets, now is where we start to actually generate the video in HeyGen. And if you're not familiar with HeyGen, it's basically a platform where you can create AI avatars that move, talk, speak, and just feel real. So this request gets made to HeyGen to create that video. And here we're just waiting for that video to complete. And this node here is to receive that video once it's done. Okay, so after this video is done, then technically we could stop here. But what about if we wanted to automate this process more and add captions to the video? Because why would I do that manually if I can just automate that process? Well, here's the cool thing. After we have that video that's finished generating in HeyGen, we then send that over to what's called Creatomate, and Creatomate will edit that video for us. And so once that a video is edited, then we move on to receive that final video in the Google Sheet. Okay, so that is a high level overview of this workflow. So now you might be asking, okay, I have this workflow in front of me, but how can I actually make it work for me? That's what we're going to take a look at. So step number one is we need to generate 9x16 photos of any avatar you want. So for me, I generated, pictures with an AI monk. And to do that, you can use pretty much any AI image generator, ChatGPT, Midjourney, Nano Banana. I like using this platform called Higgsfield. And in Higgsfield, it just has a nice user interface that connects to Nano Banana. And so that's how I generated these AI monk photos. Okay, so let's walk through how that was actually done. Okay, so I basically just used Nano Banana, via Higgsfield, and I just used this prompt. I was like, create a realistic Tibetan monk staring at the camera. And after I found, a visual that I liked, what I did was I downloaded the image and I said, take the same character, but have him with the lake behind him, or use the reference character and make sure his likeness is exactly the same. So to do this, all you need to do is just download the original photo that you liked and upload it. And then that's how you're able to, quote unquote, use the reference character. So what I ended up doing was just creating a few different settings that monk exists in. Now, this step is important because I messed it up when I first started doing this. Whenever you're generating these images, make sure you're generating them to be 9x16, so vertical format, just like this, because originally when I was doing it, if you see here, this is, I think, 1x1, and that is not the output that we're trying to generate. Okay, so once you have generated a few different images of an AI monk or whatever avatar you're doing in a few different settings, then we need to move on to step number 2. And step number 2 is switch out avatar and voice IDs in the randomizer node. Okay, so what do I mean by this? If we go back and open this node, I have specific avatar IDs in this code and a specific voice ID in this code. You are going to need to change this out for yourself. I will walk you through how to do this. Okay, so you want to head over to HeyGen, and it's just heygen.com. And once you're on HeyGen and you make an account, I am specifically on, I think, the creator plan. So once you make an account, then all you need to do is hit avatars here. And you need to hit this plus icon for create a new avatar. Now, here's something really interesting. You just hit upload photo, and then you upload the photos of your avatar. So for me here, I have these 3 photos. So I'm going to upload all 3 and then hit upload and then hit continue. I'm just going to name him Tibetan Monk 3 and age senior, ethnicity, and hit continue. Here's a really cool part. So we have uploaded photos, which we're going to use for our talking AI avatar. But what about the voice for that avatar? That's where we choose that here. I personally have looked through these, and I have chosen, if I type in Yogi here and scroll down, if I look at Yogi Scott Soothing, this voice here for this demonstration, but feel free to look through this library and just choose whatever voice works for you. Let's take a listen at this Yogi Scott Soothing voice real quick.
Hey there, here's how I sound. I hope you like it. The right voice brings avatar videos to life. Hey there.
So that's the voice that I'm choosing for this demo. Feel free to look through this library and choose your own. And what's really cool is if you're not familiar with HeyGen, you can actually generate your own voice in here as well if you upload a sample, but that will be for another video. So for now, let's go ahead and go with this Yogi Scott one. So click it and click Save Voice. Okay, nice. So you have uploaded 3 images or however many you generated, and you have selected a voice. What is the next step? This is what you need to do. So if you look back into the instructions of what we're doing, we need to switch out avatar and voice IDs. Okay, so how can we get those avatar IDs? Well, I'm glad you asked. All you have to do is go to your HeyGen, and in these 3 dots here, you'll need to copy an avatar ID for every photo that you uploaded. So if I hit copy avatar ID, I come back to the workflow. Okay, and so this first one here, I'm going to hit paste. And then now I need to do the second one. Okay, and then now I'm going to do the third one. Okay, now you have replaced the avatar IDs, but we need to replace this voice ID if you scroll down to the bottom. So to do that, head back to HeyGen, and if you click this button here, so basically it's the name of the voice that we're using, and then click the 3 button icon and hit Get Voice ID. So once that's copied, you want to move back over to the workflow and then just copy and paste over this value here. Okay, so once you have that, this is what your section should look like. You should have replaced the avatar IDs here, and you should have replaced the voice ID here. Once you have done that, then we're ready to move on to the next step. After you have switched out those avatar and voice IDs, the next step is we need to connect to what's called the Open Router API. So the Open Router API is basically just a one-stop shop that gives you access to a bunch of different models. So I'll set that up with you guys. All you need to do is double click into this Open Router chat model here, hit the drop down, hit create new credential. Now, to set up this Open Router API, all you need to do is head on over to the resources. And in the resources, you will see this openrouter.ai link. So you can either click on it or just navigate it to yourself manually. So let's see, OpenRouter. Okay, once you are on OpenRouter, all you need to do is create an account, set up your billing, and once you have completed that, hit this button, Get API Key, and all you need to do is hit Create API Key, and I'm going to name this AI Monk Demo, and I'm going to have this expire in 1 hour because you never want to share your API keys, and hit Create. Okay, once you have that, just copy, head back over to N8N and add in your own workflow, add in your own API key. And hit save. Okay, so if you think about these steps, you have generated your photos, you have switched out the avatar and voice IDs, you set up your OpenRouter API. Now, the next step is you need to set up your Google Sheets API. And to do that, I'm going to link that specific video down below in the description because that process is a little bit longer. So to save you the process of having to watch through it in this video, if you've already set it up, I'll link that video down below to set up that Google Sheets API. Now, the next step is we need to set up the HeyGen API. And the HeyGen API is pretty simple. So you have already created your HeyGen account because you have your AI avatar. So to set up that API, just head back here to the left-hand corner, go to settings. And when you're in settings, just hit on usage and billing and click HeyGen API. And once you are at HeyGen API, all you need to do is hit this icon here. And for me, I've already generated it. So it says regenerate, but for you, you haven't. So you just have to create it. And I'm going to hit confirm. And once I have this API, I just hit copy to clipboard, head back over to N8N. And in 2 sections, we're going to need to change some settings. So the first one is here, we need to set up our credentials to actually connect to your HeyGen API. So to do that, hit this drop-down menu, hit create new credential. And for this, this is very important. You need to fill this in as x-key-API, and then paste the API key that you just got. Okay, awesome. So also, I'm just going to rename this HeyGen AI Monk Demo. Okay, so your name should look exactly like this, and the value should be the API key that you copied. So all you need to do is hit save. And once you have that, then you can move on to the last step, which is setting up the Create-A-Mate API. So let's do that together. Now, to set up Create-A-Mate, there are 2 steps. And I actually added a step 7 here because I forgot that second step originally. So let's walk through that together. So first step is let's actually head over to Create-A-Mate. So to do that, you can just head on over to the resources, and I'm just going to do open link in new tab. And once you do that, I created a free trial account, so you should be able to do the same. So let me log in really quick. Once you've logged in, this should be what your screen looks like. So there are 2 things we need to do here. Number 1, we need to actually set up the API. So to do that, you want to hit these 3 dots in the top left-hand corner, hit project settings, and then copy your API key. So I'm going to copy. Okay, once you have copied that API key, then let's head back over to N8N. And you want to open this node here, and then you want to set up your own Create-A-Mate API. So to do that, hit the drop down, create new credential, Create-A-Mate demo. And for this name, this is very important. You want to make sure you type in authorization. And once you have authorization, then you want to come in here and paste in your API. And so that is step number 1 complete, which is setting up your Create-A-Mate API. Hit save. And now you're at the last step of this entire workflow. And after you finish this last step, this workflow will work for you, which is to get your template ID. So what I mean by this is in Creative-Mates, how we're editing the videos is we're creating a template in which we want any video that we send to Creative-Mates to edit it in. So if we go back to Creative-Mates, I'm going to exit out of this project settings and I'm going to click this section here, which is templates. All you need to do is hit new. And in the bottom left here, it says start from scratch. And we specifically want to make sure the template is 9:16 vertical and hit create template. Now we have this template and what we have to do is edit in or add in code so that it knows how to edit each video that we use this template in. To do that, I've made it really easy for y'all. So in the top right-hand corner, you'll see this source editor and just delete everything that is in here and then head on over to the resource document and you'll see this section, template source code. All you need to do is copy and paste that and go back to Creative-Mates and add that code in. So if you see what this code is doing, it's saying, okay, I want these captions to be added with this editing style, and every video that you send Creative-Mate is going to be edited in this specific way. Okay, so once you've done that, then go ahead and hit back. Now, if you think about what our final step is, it's get template ID. So how do we do that? Okay, so once you've created that template, all you need to do is hit this 3 dots here, hit use template, and at the bottom, you'll see API integration. And all you need to do is copy and paste this template ID that you see here. Once you have that ID copied, then all you need to do is head back on over to your workflow, open up this node, and if you see this section here, it says template ID, you will need to replace this with yours. So now I have replaced that template ID with the one that I created. Now that you have added in that template ID, this workflow is now ready to be used by you. Okay, so think about it. We have created a workflow that can create 1,080 different variations of an AI Monk video. And whether you do an AI Monk or a different AI avatar, you have now created a system in which you've automated that entire process. Please comment down below, how you plan to use this workflow or what avatar you plan to use this system in. But I can't wait to see what you guys generate. As always, thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video.